Namaste. I'm in conversation with Swami Paramadvaiti, born in Germany, one of the original disciples of Sri Prabhupada, founder of ISKCON. And I must say, when I meet the disciples of Sri Prabhupada who've stayed loyal to him, it's a real pleasure, because I had the honor of knowing him in Detroit in the 1970s and made many good friends. And he created a true lineage of people, very rarely who U-turn. Most of them have stayed loyal to him, and that's a very important thing. So you were born in Germany, and you joined Prabhupada, and then tell us a little bit what happened.
Well,
then how we met also.
I like to say that I was educated in India, because I had to relearn everything after I met Prabhupada. What is this colonialistic education which just gives you everything wrong?
Right.
So then afterwards he sent me to South America, where I stayed almost all those years, even though I expanded from there when I started the Vrinda Mission in 1984. And in the 1990 I started working on the perennial psychology, trying to understand how Shraddha, that element which gives us an impulse towards the divine, how does it really develop in an individual from the psychological point of view. And that's when I met you, when I introduced the Oida therapy in the Congress in Delhi, spirituality and psychology.
That was in 2005 or 6 or something, like that, somewhere in there, about a dozen years ago.
Yes.
A huge Congress with about 500 people from around the world.
Yes.
That was very interesting. So now you are based in South America. Which countries?
I'm a traveling mendicant, beggar of love. So I don't really consider any place my home except Vrindavan.
Very nice. And so which are the countries in South America? But your focus of work is in South America.
It kept in South America. Practically today I'm the representative of the Vishwa Hindu Parishad in all of South America, and we have ashrams everywhere, so the work is very facilitated. We have eco-yoga farms, and we have had an extensive connection with the adivasi communities in all the different countries, which brought about the birth of the United Nations of the Spirit, which is on the basis of the wisdom of the ancient saints and sages, also from the American world, so much united with the Indian wisdom, which has brought about now a union which will come into full presentation in Kumbh Mela 2019 in Prayag, Allahabad, where there will be a temple in the heart of Mother Earth with all the Adivasi leaders coming to Kumbh Mela, first time in the history, and joining with our Swamijis from all of the Indian terrain, and I think this will be something very unique.
So for those who don't know, by Adivasis of South America, he's referring to the original natives of South America.
Yes,
that is what the Adivasis are. Before the conquistadors came, and the Columbus and all of that, before the arrival of Europe, so they were the natives that Columbus incorrectly classified as Indians, but maybe they have a spiritual Indianness in them anyway. So tell me this, a lot of speculation, and you're the right person to ask, a lot of speculation that in fact in ancient times there may have been some connection. Do you believe that?
Undoubtedly, there's so much evidence and proof to that effect, that even the Quechua language has 1,000 Sanskrit roots.
And the Quechua language is spoken where? In which country?
It is in Bolivia and Peru, Ecuador and Colombia.
Okay. So are there scholars of this language from that place now who we can engage and who can meet with and discuss with Sanskrit scholars?
Absolutely.
There are scholars.
Yes.
So, there are universities where they teach this language?
Yes, also.
So is there a bilateral or some kind of exchange between the Sanskrit scholars in India and these people in South America?
Not very much. Vasant Lal and Balaram Chakravarti, they made in-depth studies and publications to that effect. And we ourselves nowadays, we have so many living connections with them, because very important to understand that most of these groups, they were not overexposed to Spaniards. They stayed in the jungles or on the high mountains, and they kept their own culture intact.
So one commonality is 1,000 words of their language are Sanskritic. What are some other commonalities?
They all believe in reincarnation.
Okay.
They all believe in the Atman, or the soul.
Okay.
They all believe in individual responsibility, karmic responsibility for each and everyone. And they all believe in the divine, feminine and masculine as the cause of everything. So like we have in India Radha Krishna, Lakshmi Narayan, they have Kaku Sarankwa, Ati Senikang. They are the divine. You always have the feminine and the masculine together as the cause of everything.
And I guess they are close to nature also, like the Vedic.
100%.
Very, very close to nature. Nature is sacred.
The sun, the moon, the earth, the elements.
The rivers, the mountains, forests.
Yes, they're very, very spiritual.
So this
means philosophical.
Yes, yes. So now I want to raise one issue. I've often been asked, why is it that despite heavy invasions of India, the Vedic culture survived, whereas in many other parts of the world, similar cultures did not survive? So I have an answer, but I want to know what you're thinking.
Well, the wonderful thing is that in India, the truth doesn't belong to any particular person or sampradaya. The truth is the tattva. It is there in the Brahminical thinking and acting, and that could not be eliminated by colonialism like they did. Sometimes they, like in the Inca case, they killed all the Incas, they destroyed all the literature, they prohibited their food, their mantras, everything was prohibited. But that's only one few places. Like I said, those who were in the long, far away regions, they kept their culture. They couldn't do that there. But that is the case. Whereas in Europe, except the Samis, every adivasi was wiped out and destroyed, disappeared.
Yes, that is good. One other factor I like to discuss is the powerful role of Shastras in India. That the texts kept in memory, you can destroy all the written copies. Oral transmission,
yes,
kept in memory, meant that unless you kill every last person, even if you kill lots of them, but they know the stories, they know the mantras, they know the shlokas.
Yes.
So sooner or later it'll come back, it comes back, revives. So the role of Shastras, I think, is very important to remember also. What do you think of that? Because I think in the Americas and Africa and Europe, the early European, ancient Europeans, I'm not sure they had so much rigorous, organized, systematic Shastra. Maybe they had some texts.
The Mayas had,
okay,
but that was all destroyed.
Okay.
But it is an oral tradition there in the Adivasis in South America. There's a few things. I mean, they used to keep their writings in the threads, how they had made their weavings. And so there were lots of messages, lots of engravings, like we have in the Tirona University, which is all written in the rocks, carved in the rocks, their messages for the future. So there was an incredible culture, but I totally agree with you that the greatest wisdom and riches of India in the Vedas, it doesn't have no parallel in the world, whether it's recorded or it's written down. And of course, that is the treasure, how we are becoming so attracted now to India by the Gita, and by then going to India and seeing that physically it's also existing. There is Ayodhya, there is Vrindavan, there's Seturbando. These things are actually there.
Right. So in these South American countries, what is the reception of two kinds of people I want to talk about? One is the Adivasis themselves towards the Vedic culture. And second is, what do the governments think of all this?
Well, South America has been very incredibly Catholic dominated. and that means they have had a very painful way of living. Nowadays, even they're invaded by the Protestants, which are very ruthlessly going into the adivasi regions and doing, like also in Manipur regions like that, they're very negative influence. But the good thing is that there's a very strong piety in the heart of the Latin Americans and of the Adivasis even more. Swami Prabhupada called them, they're somewhat pious. I see how they're taking up. And even those who are like mixed by with the Spaniards who came in, the attraction towards India is amazing.
So, but a lot of the work that supports the Christian missionaries is that they provide them food, they provide them schooling, they provide them with healthcare. Mm-hmm. So these are, you know, people, human beings need all this. Yep. You cannot blame somebody who says, I need my kids in school, I have a sick child, I need to take him to the doctor. So if the Christians are bringing their message through helping in social work, isn't this something the Hindus need to do? And what are Hindus doing about it? In this sense, because that needs resources, it needs money.
Yes, it is a lot about the resources, but we have started in South America the House of Wisdom, and in 25 regions, healthcare, education, we all try to be as active as we can. We are helping people who are in drug addictions, we are helping people who, when they're about to die, how to come into contact with higher sound vibrations and messages. We are helping on the level of learning how to grow food organically and how to be a vegetarian. And so in 25 regions we are active, and we also believe, just like you said, it's not only philosophy and sitting and chanting some mantras, but we have to have a social input into the society. Basically, our eco-yoga farms, they have been a very great place of learning. And many volunteers come from the world to participate.
So tell me how an eco-yoga farm works.
Well, it is a little bit like Daivik Varna Ashrama concept.
Okay.
That we want to show that Mother Earth is really our divine mother.
Okay.
And we have to produce our own food. And we have to have a very intimate Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam consciousness with all the people around, letting everybody some or other find their place, because not everybody's going to join an ashram. But that they can take this idea into their little farms, into their lifestyle, even into their apartments in a city if they live like that. So we like to be like it's very interesting. We have started the University of Ancient Wisdom. Combination of Adivasi knowledge with Vedic wisdom. Together, we have online courses. People come and can also take presential courses in the eco-yoga farms. So people have, like, sometimes we have a course on how to build with natural materials. But of course, it's always connected. There'll be prasad, there'll be yoga, there'll be like an array of educational options for them.
Yeah. You know, Shashi Kejriwal, a dear friend of mine, is planning a trip to these countries and has asked me to come along. I'm thinking of doing that. So I'm thinking that
we like to be your host.
Sometime in 2019, that's the whole idea. We want to come and visit your eco farms and see the work you're doing and bring our camera crew and make a documentary. So we are people who like the kind of work we're doing, share it with friends, see our stuff, support our stuff, give donations. We want to continue this work, and we'd like to come and collaborate with you and see how we can help you in your amazing work, bringing Vedic knowledge to the Adivasis of South America. That's a incredible work. And also documenting the ancient connections between the Vedic people and the Adivasi people. And you know, it's very strange, the Adivasis there have lost a sense of history as to where they came from, who they are. I mean, that track has been lost. So maybe some more research by archaeologists will discover that one day. We'll discover exactly where they came from, because they came from Asia.
Yes, it is. In Bolivia there is one very famous folk tale which is enacted as a great drama in Oruro. It is just like Ramayana. It is the same story of a princess being kidnapped and then the bears and the monkeys going to free her. Imagine.
Very interesting.
Huh?
So there's a lot of wisdom in the ancient. It's hidden and needs to come out from places like South America and in collaboration with the Vedic culture. And so glad that Prabhupada's disciple, decades after he's gone, is continuing this in the true spirit, and I'm so happy that we are connected.
Thank you so much.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here and also hit the bell icon to make sure you get notified. To donate, please click this button.